I think it's going to work.
Okay.
Oh, anyway, so just kind of for fun. I do love photographing pets on location. Again, going back to you could host a dog days event somewhere else. On location would be pretty difficult, I feel like, with the time frame maybe involved. I would do it. I would do an event outside, maybe at a dog park or do something fun, but I would make the time frames longer, I think, if I did that. I wouldn't try to like contain it in one little spot, but maybe you spend the day at the dog park photographing people all day, every half hour. You could do something. So that's actually a little dude I think in Venice, that he just came walking around a corner by himself. But I was just walking around with my camera. And then some of these are, clients. But it's really no different, honestly, the way I shoot. I very rarely, and I think you'll get that when you see what I'm shooting. I'm going to try to shoot in every scenario possible. But most of what I do is in my studio. In my studio, I do have window light, so I would say it's like maybe 60% I use window light, 40% I'm using my strobes and my Larson softboxes. And when I go outdoors on location in clients' homes, typically I am just using available light and reflectors. I will take studio lights into somebody's home, and that's not my style. Like as far as what I show people, typically if a client would call me and they want me to do that, I'll pretty much talk them into coming to the studio. Because I have so much, unless it's because, like with the turkeys, or they want, there's something that's meaningful to them, specifically they want at their house, of course I will go to their house. But if it's just more of a convenience factor and they want me just to come to their house, I can do, I feel like, better work for them if they come to the studio. And like some of these locations, I actually wish I had a shot of this, not shot with my camera, like just like zoomed back, because this literally is like a dump of an area right behind the studio by this back parking lot that is like this dirty street, and if I didn't shoot at that angle, you saw there's like a drainage ditch, and so it's just by getting creative with your lenses, like that's what the 7200, so I'm eliminating a lot of stuff and getting at the lower angle. You can actually make locations that maybe to a client's just normal eye wouldn't be beautiful, but you can make them be beautiful. And again, just going to just different park type locations will do. So this is now the stuff that I'm talking about. This would be the kind of stuff that we book because we created the pet market. Now that people are like, oh cool, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get my pets photographed. This isn't dog days now, this is like we've transitioned to people calling the studio photographs with their dog or just of their dog, or I'll do things like this where it's not just everybody looking at the camera. And yeah, we have a few minutes. This would be like a pet price list. This is actually our little pet price list template, but for just normal sessions, like we created this. We actually, our clients, we do have ordering off of now. We went through a few phases over the 5 years we had price lists just for pets. And that does work, and that might be what somebody wants to do. Like that worked. We've transitioned it to like just all our sessions are the same price list unless it's a limited edition. But this is really good if someone's wanting to do some packages or some collections. This might be a really great way to start and jump into the market. And I love, because we play on the words. Like it's so cute. You've got socks collections, Toto's collections, Fido's collection, Whiskers collections, and then we just went through and picked a few different things that we thought worked well with the pet photography. We had a lot of people like doing the art cards. That was actually where it was just blank on the inside and our website on the back and just an image of their dog on the front. So they'd use them as little note cards. The other thing, here, this one is an eclectic. This is actually a GW molding frame, but we do these with all our clients, not just pet clients, but these have actually been really popular with our pet clients. And all it is, Jed will show you guys on Saturday morning how we make these, because some of them we actually do blended. They're not actually like boxed out, but it's easier when they're boxed out, but we do some blended ones as well. But it's just like a package deal. It's like on here, we had it for $200, and it includes the frame and the image. So, you have that client who's like, if there's a series of images that would look cute together. We sell a lot of these for like dad's desk at the office. And I'm talking just other sessions too now, kids and families. That's what this is a good product for. So, let's see. Oh, there's the, you know what, there's jewelry. That's a little keychain. And we have a couple different companies we've used for jewelry. There's Kimbra, Katori, Planet Jill. And then these are the White House mini accordion albums. That was actually somebody that ordered just this year from Dog Days, the little mini accordion. So it holds like, depending how you lay it out, 10, 11, 12 images. And it ends up folding up to like wallet size. I actually have that one as a sample here if you guys want to look at it. Christmas cards are huge. I'm sure you guys know, I mean, that's huge for every type of photography. But yeah, we've had clients just do Christmas cards, yeah, only their pets. Sometimes it's the people with the pets. The one thing, I'll just give you my quick 2 cents on holiday cards. Your clients are paying for you to advertise. So make sure your website's on there. It doesn't have to be obnoxious. It doesn't have to be like big and bold, but you can just see even on a couple of these images how it's pretty small and subtle, but they're sending these out. They're paying for your advertising. And I look at it as if somebody bought something like people want that on there. Like they paid and invested good money for that. Like that's the logo, that's the brand. Like if they're going to spend that money, I mean, for some clients, that's something like they actually would want on there. So that's really been a non-issue. That's just always on all our cards. But I keep saying it because I can tell you one of the things I love at Christmas time is going to my friends' houses and people's houses, and I dig through all their cards, and I'm shocked at how many cards are in there still. That I have no idea who shot it. Like, it's professional, but just there's no way to know who shot it. And just there's a very big missed opportunity there. This is an example of the frames from White House that I just did. Actually, we sold a couple of those from this past Dog Days. So there was like one with 4 and like this one with 3. But again, this is just, most of what I do, I sell wall portraits or I sell some of the smaller products. I don't do a lot with matting and framing. I tend to sell like one larger print. But with this has actually been a great add-on because for me, this is a really great add-on because I don't have to do any work. I mean, it's like, it's done. Like, that's just all money in my pocket. Whereas before, it was like, oh my gosh, like, to deal with framing and matting and somebody doing all of that was definitely more of a hassle. The fact that that comes done is wonderful. Organic bloom, we've just started to do some stuff with, just some fun. I have a few samples I brought of theirs, some fun options. That's a gallery wrap, so somebody won, I know, a gallery wrap at the last break. So you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with it. I really like the metallic gallery wraps. I think most of the gallery wraps we have in our studio, we actually do with the metallic finish. When we talk about the relationship displays, I've kind of transitioned a lot of what I do in those displays. I do the gallery wraps just because they're lighter weight and to move around, and you don't have that investment of the framing. And we have a lot of frames. I mean, a lot of our displays do have frames too, but we've just found over the years, like, I mean, it's easier to damage. These are actually pretty durable, the gallery wraps, but it's like hauling frames back and forth. I mean, some of them get pretty beat up and start to look pretty rough because we're moving them around. If they weren't getting moved around, it wouldn't be a big deal. Just some other framing. Oh, here's an example of a couple more of the eclectics. Actually, that's the one that we had here.
Do we have any questions in the audience that we want to start with you guys?
If you were going to do a shoot, not necessarily in a studio, like if you found maybe a vet or somebody to do the Dog Days kind of thing at their studio or at their space, what would you do for like the couch? Because it'd be kind of hard to bring like several couches or options for backdrops.
Yeah. And that's where, I think, each case you'd have to just look at differently. And it's really even no different than what I'm doing here. Like, I don't have my 30 couches here, but I'm going to be able to do some great things. Like, you just, like, I would talk to them. I mean, I would assume they'd have some furniture there. It probably wouldn't be as pretty or neat. But, the few challenges, what I would tell somebody to look at, you're going to run into working with other vendors. I think it's very viable and possible. You're going to need to be a little flexible on scheduling because I'm assuming you're going to have to hold it at a time that they're not normally seeing clients. Like, that to me would be too chaotic. So it may even be a Sunday event or a Saturday afternoon event. I would think you'd have better luck, because otherwise, if they said you could do it while they were open, it would be kind of chaotic for you, I wouldn't probably do that. Plus, that's not necessarily good for them. And I think if they were closed, you could do a few more things. You could probably bring a few more couches, but I would focus more on, and some of this I think will be clarified when you see me shooting, focus more on changing things up by other things that don't take up a lot of space and are more portable. So like I've got some of my White House backdrops that don't wrinkle, and literally we shot with them the other day because 2 people just held them out and stretched them out, like just to get the shot. So what if all the dogs are on the same chair or couch, or the same 2 chairs or couch? You can easily change some things around with the rug, with the fabric, enough to give variety. Or there is nothing wrong with having like a cool setup that people shoot with. Like when we do our like vintage Santa set, it's like a set. Like everybody gets photographed in the same thing. Like that would be an easier entry-level way to do dog days for somebody to try it out. Would be just, you know, just set something up, keep it simple on yourself, and just have a few things you can change out, maybe a chair, maybe a rug, but don't try to go like totally crazy. Your clients are still gonna love it. Like they're not gonna know the difference of how I did this and how you did it. I mean, as long as the images are still like, that's where we go back to the importance of the relationship, and you're working well with them and with their animals, that's what's gonna, I think, stand out. And then it could transition into something more or bigger next time. But that would be a good way to like get your feet wet. Like do like a Saturday afternoon, and don't try to go too crazy with, you know, the backgrounds and stuff.
You just answered most of my questions.
Okay.
How many do you usually have though for yours? How many sets or backgrounds, or do you just wing it?
I don't have anything pre-set up. So literally, and that's for all my sessions. That when I used to do limited editions, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, my limited editions used to be sets. So like a fairy set, like intense, set up the whole day before, a day to take down, everybody shot in the same thing. I completely transitioned away from all of that, and I realized like I really just want good lighting, and so I set up my lighting and things where I want it, and I just bring the things in as I need it. So it's like, it's really not very different from this. I've got a light wood floor, a light wall. Sometimes that's all I use. Sometimes I might just slide a couch in with it. Sometimes somebody's holding the rug. But all my other stuff is just kind of shoved to the side, and I can just like pick and grab what I want.